Gentlemen, would you please show Mr. Foley to the door?
Hey, take it easy.
First of all, I love the way they just pick his ass up. But
Yeah.
second of all, man, the dude, look at this.
Well, you see him reach over and push that button.
He's got that. I thought it was gonna be a trap door at first, but my man is so villainous that he just got henchmen waiting in closets
Right.
to come out.
A lot of them.
Yeah, like several of them. He just got a closet full of henchmen just waiting. So, I just rewatched the first Beverly Hills Cop from 1984.
What were you doing in California anyway?
I was working.
Working where?
Beverly Hills.
This movie is so good. It's so entertaining. Did you like this movie?
I liked it. I honestly rewatching it. It's not as funny as I remembered it being.
Really?
Yeah.
I rewatched it and I thought, so you saw it?
Yeah, I just watched it. I saw it probably like 10 years ago or something when I was in college.
For the first time?
Yeah. And I rewatched it today, and yeah, I liked it. I think that I wasn't crazy about it, like probably how people were back in the day, but I can see what there is to like about it because very early on in the movie, like, man, Eddie Murphy is so goddamn funny.
Oh, yeah, man.
And also, so many other movies came from this. Like this set the blueprint for how these movies are done.
Yeah. No, I watched it and I loved it. But anyway, it was a huge hit.
Oh,
when it came out.
extremely huge.
Yeah, this thing was a phenomenon, man. And you know, and like I said, I could if you were anything like me, you were part of contributing to this movie being the huge hit that it was. You know, like I said, I can see why it was a huge hit. It's just an entertaining film. You know, it's what I thought. It's just simply very entertaining. But there are some other things in here that I think attributed to the success of this film. See, the success of this movie, since we're talking about that, as we all know, it has spawned. So nasty. Spawned 3 sequels. We all know Beverly Hills Cop 2. We know Beverly Hills Cop 3. And just recently, we got Beverly Hills Cop 4. Actually, it's called Beverly Hills Cop Axel F.
Boy, you stole a helicopter! I didn't realize that you couldn't really fly a helicopter. Otherwise, I would have came up with a different idea.
Oh, that Axel, still crazy. Now, I'm gonna tell you, in my review of Beverly Hills Cop 4 or Axel F or whatever you want to call it, I said this. I said, you can never recreate that feeling of that first movie, though. I like this movie, but I said, you can't touch that first movie right there, man. You know what? After watching this movie here, the first Beverly Hills Cop, the original, I believe that even more now. You can remake this, which they've done 3 times already in a way, but I don't think you can recreate this. You cannot recreate the magic of this movie right here, at least for the reasons that I like it, as I said. But some people obviously has not aged very well.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because I felt like it hasn't aged well, not because the jokes are off color and how our political landscape has changed, just because you see so much of them now where people have done this, where I was like, this could have been pumped up more. But, you know, for the time, it was the first one, so what can you say?
Yeah, not even trying to sound mean, but like by today's standards, it's surprisingly cheap looking. Like there's stuff that they do in this. I was like, wow, like it doesn't look bad, but it's like today there would have been a little bit more oomph. Like when they shoot someone in the head at one point in this movie, nothing happens.
Right. Well, yeah, no spark, no blood. It's just sound effect. Blam. Yeah.
I see things like that I liked in this. And you do see, I think, a little bit of a spark come out that guy's mouth. I think, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. We'll see right here.
It's fine. It doesn't take away from the movie.
Yeah, it's just something that
it's a little thing you notice, but it doesn't take away from the movie.
So, you know, that's what I liked about this. It was not a matter of looking slick.
No, very stripped down.
It was based on just the raw talent of Eddie Murphy and all the supporting actors around him. You know, that's one of the things that I probably did not like about Beverly Hills Cop 2. Let me see here. Is that, you know, this was something where it definitely was more money, bigger budget, and it became more about the production of it and repeating what they did instead of just feeling like the natural, raw, you know, entertaining movie that the first one was. Playing the same music.
sidekick extraordinaire. If you need me, just think Johnny Wishbone, and I come running.
And see, this is the point where just kind of like, just do that thing you did in the last one.
Right.
Wasn't like, now we'll talk about this. Now, this isn't me saying that I'm right. You know, I think this is very interesting that y'all didn't see the same things that I did here. You know, this is actually going to make for a pretty good conversation. And I'm up for you giving me your retorts or whatever you like to do as I bring these things
As
up.
wrong as they may be. I'm sorry. Is that how I look to everybody? Look how blue I am.
No, you good.
Okay.
You're good. But, you know, looking at this, just to get into this. Now, first of all, an interesting thing about this is that it was so successful. You were mentioning this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Tell people what you saw.
Well, that this movie is clearly the predecessor of Jerry Bruckheimer's dream film, which is Bad Boys.
Please, you ain't even trying to compare body counts, swine.
Yeah, you were talking about how, wow, you know, worked with one black dude in a cop movie. Let's get two.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. It's what's funny. We're
You're
talking.
probably a little dark is what it is.
Okay.
Let me see here. Yeah, it's probably you were just a little darker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about the amount of money spent, because this starts with Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer as producers.
Yeah.
And it's just a little script. You know, it's just text. But by the time you get to Bad Boys, they got a whole intro for just their names.
Yeah, just their names. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the DNA of you see this movie in the DNA of Bad Boys and Rush Hour.
So in the original, that's where we first meet, you know, wisecracking cop, renegade cop Axel Foley. You know, he's trying to solve the murder of his friend and hopefully bring down this smuggler who happens to live in Beverly Hills. And he's doing all this while he's told, you better not be on that shit. You know, he says, I'm on vacation, and they know his ass can't afford. I mean, you should see his apartment. His apartment's a shit. They know he can't afford no Beverly Hills. So they know he's up to something. But hey, you know, as I say, he's a renegade cop. Can't nobody stop him from doing what he wants to do. He's hard-headed, and he's going to get to the bottom of this, along with some new friends that he's made over there, and one particular old friend from back in the day. You know, he goes there and just starts doing wacky stuff in LA. You were right. You were right. He is very much Bugs Bunny in this.
Yeah, I heard you guys say that, and I couldn't unsee it. Like after he gets thrown through that window, it's like, well, that was rude.
Yeah. But let me just tell you what this does so well that I don't think any of these other sequels and any future sequels can touch this movie at all. This movie is very much a product of its time, not so much because of all the iconography of the 80s, you know, it's 84. You know, I mean, not because it's so 80s or anything like that. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Eddie Murphy was at his peak at that time.
Yep.
You know, this is the first movie, you know, that was doing this. Sylvester Stallone was supposed to do this.
Right. Well,
You know?
this movie had been written in 1975 and just bounced around.
This is the first time he was really carrying this movie on his own. So there's a lot of firsts here that I just don't think that you can do, you know, and that could go for a lot of things. You know, this thing did it the first time.
Oh, yeah.
You just cannot do that again
Right.
and have it feel natural. So one of the things that this movie does, I think that it does better than any of the other movies because we've seen it for the first time here. I think it does a great job at setting up Beverly Hills itself as a character in this film. You know, because right at the beginning of the movie, they want you to know there's a huge contrast between Detroit, because Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley is a Detroit cop. They want you to know there's a big difference between Beverly Hills and Detroit. Shit, Detroit, when the Detroit here, I think they probably took it too far. They made Detroit look like the apocalypse.
Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, do you feel it? The heat is on.
I mean, the milk is bad. This kid can't even drink his milk. Kids up there starving and shit.
I mean, well, you say they made it look bad, but it looks like they just filmed what was already on the street.
But it's like, man, that's some good size of Detroit here.
I think so.
Yeah, you might as well show RoboCop,
Right? I was thinking about that when they showed the police station.
Hell
It
yeah.
looks high tech as
The heat is on. The heat is on.
I mean, people just out just looking, just the happiness just drained from their lives, man.
I tell you what, like with the song "The Heat Is On," I always saw the video, which was always showing the action scenes from this movie.
Yeah.
But to sit and watch it, when they're showing just drudgery and dreariness and no hope, and the heat is on. And this man,
These abandoned buildings.
Yeah, the kids out there, that's why I say it look like they just nuked Detroit.
Right.
The kids out there playing and these goddamn blasted out abandoned buildings.
No job.
Hey, look at this shit, man. Shit look like Spawn should be living in there or something.
You just see sad visuals with this happy jump around music.
It's just Candyman's house.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the land of shady people and the crazies out there.
Right.
Look at this. Like, you don't sit your ass down. Like this Detroit just sucks the soul out of people, man. Like this man is 25 years old. Like I said, this is peak Eddie Murphy. So Eddie Murphy, you know, he's doing a lot of his trademark stuff here. You know, and in the movie they know. So they, you know, I guess you could say the movie's kind of just a slight bit meta because they're being self-aware now. Like this is no longer Axel F in some of these parts. This is Eddie Murphy doing his Murphy-isms, like the you know, the Eddie Murphy laugh.
Yeah.
Like, and I like this, man, because I really believe that was improvised.
Sure.
Right there.
You know what? A lot of the movie was improvised.
And that's cool.
Yeah, because they said while they were filming, they were like, we don't really have a way to end this, but hey, Eddie, you know, whatever you want to feel like doing.
And see, some of this stuff is improvised because a lot of these other movies, you know, that now that there was more money and you got some other directors, they were more, and this is usually it's supposed to be a good thing, but I think that there was more direction and less ad-libbing, except for like when they told Eddie Murphy, okay, just do the thing.
Yeah.
You know, but like here, like they even make fun of Eddie Murphy's, he's making fun of himself. Mm-hmm. He's making fun of his leather suit from Delirious.
Oh. No. That was the Michael Jackson suit.
Was that the Michael Jackson?
Yeah. And they were selling those in stores at the time. And every so often, you know, one of your friends would have one of those jackets, and you're like, I know that sounded cool to you, but that looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
So seeing two guys wearing the two variations of the suit walking together, that was funny.
I thought the same thing you did, though, that was a reference to Delirious.
I think it is because those are Michael Jackson suits, but I also think he's like, you know, I wore the leather suit with the open chest and everything. So now he's laughing at other people wearing a lot of leather shit. So, you know, I think he's just kind of, because his character's a guy that would probably laugh at Eddie Murphy wearing that shit. So, you know, I think there's a lot of Eddie Murphy-isms in there. They're letting Eddie Murphy do what he's famous for doing. But since this hasn't become a series of movies yet, there were a lot of scenes that really felt genuine and had more of an impact. You know, and I think they showed how even though Eddie Murphy, and that's why I'm bringing this point up, even though Eddie Murphy was doing like his laugh and, you know, and laughing at his himself pretty much, I think there's a lot of scenes where Eddie Murphy was actually a really good actor in here, man. You know, because one of the things I didn't, you know, I said without having seen this movie again, watching the new one, I said, man, Eddie Murphy's more pulled back. He's not doing the Eddie Murphy stuff as much. He's a better actor because his character's supposed to be a little more mature too. And I don't think I gave Eddie Murphy enough credit for, you know, being a really good actor in here. Of course, he had co-stars that were really good too. Like the guy who his friend that gets killed, Mikey, played by James Russo. Mm-hmm. That's his name, right? Yeah. Man, there's a scene in here where, you know, they don't play it too thick or anything. It's just them showing themselves as best friends, and they, you know, and showing how they have genuine love for each other.
Yo, how come you didn't tell on me when you got caught, man? How come you tell we were together?
You don't know?
No.
Because I love you, man.
Next scene in the hallway making out.
I read that scene was supposed to go on longer, or they shot it for longer, and then they say like, it's looking a little too gay.
Oh yeah. I know it looks a little too gay right there. But you know, it's goddamn. I mean, especially when you freeze it right there. So my place is yours. But no, I really thought that was a good scene. The reason why I think that's a great scene is because, and I don't think that you have this kind of impact. You don't have, all right, so we had in Beverly Hills Cop 2, Ronnie Cox, the chief.
Bogomil.
Bogomil, yeah, he gets shot, and now it's personal for Axel because that's my friend. You know, man.
Oh, really? That's the okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Bridget Bardot shoots him when he's about to go fishing or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just saw this movie not too long ago.
Right.
So, but that's kind of standard sequel stuff.
Yeah.
Here, because they had that really good scene there where it expressed, you know, that they love each other's best friends. I don't know, or more. I don't know, but you know, they love each other's friends. I don't think that you've had anything that had the impact of the death of this movie right here.
Well, they also dropped that because I was like, well, he's a criminal, he's a cop, what's going on? But it's like, hey, you know, we were into some shit and I took the rap for you.
Yeah. No, the guy's, like they said in the movie, he's a hoodlum. But again, you know, the thing is that they're friends.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes Eddie Murphy want to do, you know, that he's doing, going and investigating this case, is that his friend got killed. And I think you don't have, now that felt impactful. I felt that had real emotion to it. I don't see you know, I'm not saying they're not entertaining, but I don't see that kind of emotional impact in the rest of those movies like I see here.
I swear, if you ever show your face out there again.
See a spark come out of his mouth?
No.
Yeah. There's maybe you can't see it on.
Is it on the ground?
It's because I always looked at this as a kid and said, "Wow, I saw." If you look at it, maybe you can't see it here, but I see it right here. There is a bullet that goes through his head.
Okay, because I was like, "There's no spark." I was looking at the gun. I was like, "No spark coming out of the gun."
Yeah. Oh, maybe not the gun, but through his mouth. 'Cause I remember as a kid, I was like, "Damn, that's kind of rough." Watch this. Oh, you see?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a bullet did go through his mouth right there, and
kind of hawk to eat a bullet.
Why you gotta ruin that scene for me, man? I'm just gonna think about him over somebody's penis right here.
Hey man, when you get shot in the head, you gotta hawk Tooey that thing.
Why you do that? Oh, look at him. Hawk Tooey. That scene is pretty rough for me too, because Jonathan Banks is man, one of the first times I remember seeing Jonathan Banks the first time. Now, if he looks familiar to you, that's because he was what's his name of Breaking Bad? Mike from Breaking Bad. That's a very young Jonathan Banks right there.
He was always playing roles like this.
He was
in his younger days.
Yeah, someone was telling me he was in Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, he you know, that scene, I felt the emotion in that, and also, man, Jonathan Banks is just, man, he made you hate him. I like the way he just, because I saw this when I was 11. It probably hit me different when I was younger because I didn't see that coming. Where I thought he was gonna let him go.
Oh, I did not.
But see, I was 11 years old, so I thought, oh, what a nice guy.
I swear, if you ever show your face out there again, ever.
I was like, oh man.
Like, hey, there ain't no way they came all the way over there just to let him go.
Oh yeah. Now as an adult, I know that, but as a kid, I was just kind of like, oh man, that's nice.
Hey, why did he pretend to let him go?
Yeah. He's mean, man, but he was also kind of threatening to me. Now again, as a kid, because when they first rolled up on Mikey, you know, the way, it's just something about when you just start slapping a dude. Like punching him in the stomach is one thing, but you know, slapping somebody, but to me, that's just more dickish and more threatening.
I swear to Christ, Jack, I was gonna bring him back. I came here to see my friend. I had him with me. I figured, you know,
Yeah, man, he's quick to do some shit just out of nowhere, man. Punching people in the stomach out of nowhere. He don't give you no warning at all. There is no pullback or anything.
Yeah, but Richie, come on, Richie. What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah, no, he's stupid. But still, though, that doesn't mean that guy's not an asshole.
I just thought if I took a couple of them. Oh, this stack is a couple of them.
Boy, I love Jonathan Banks in here too, man, because that was his thing. He just slapped the shit out of anybody.
Or punch him in the stomach.
Look, yeah, he punched
does a lot of that.
Oh, hell yeah. He did that to Eddie Murphy.
Uh-huh.
I almost thought, like, did Eddie Murphy say something to piss him off early? And he just took it out in this scene because he hit him in the stomach and then he karate chopped him and then he slapped him in the afro. Oh, yeah.
Made me hurt my knuckle.
I thought Eddie Murphy's afro was gonna fly. I like he's back there laughing. Hey, get his black ass. And you know they had this whole thing with Axel coming back and seeing his friend, childhood friend Jenny, played by Lisa Eilbacher. And when they felt like real friends. I like the way that in this movie, now normally I would complain about, I ain't gonna let that black man get that white ass right there. And probably if this was Sylvester Stallone, they probably would have let that happen. But I kind of like that they didn't do that, because I think a love interest would have messed this up. It would have been a distraction. It would have taken everything.
But at the same time, what's the end of the movie? Gotta save the blonde woman.
Yeah, no, that's true. But it's his friend, so I got it.
Yeah.
But
he came out there to save a friend. He's gonna save a friend.
Yeah, and also it did kind of make. Listen, we can't really show it, but they did try to put out there. Hey, maybe they.
What is this? Mustache.
Peach fuzz.
Nah, that's man style now.
Well, they flirting together. They flirting their ass off.
I can't believe how you filled out.
Yeah, I feel out.
No,
Looking at that ass and everything, talking about I like the way you filled out. It's like, hey, they did something.
Oh yeah,
back in the day.
Well, even I don't know if you caught it then, but just as she was turning, she kind of looked him up and down.
Yeah, touching his mustache and putting it out there. And Eddie Murphy was like, yeah, I hit that shit. So I'm gonna hit it again. you look, y'all might not see it, but it's heavily implied.
I mean, you're saying that he did a lot of improv. I think that he had a lot of pull and power on set, and he was able to do it. And it paid off because he brings that character to life. There's a couple scenes like, I don't know if are you gonna bring up the scene where he gets thrown out the window?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'll bring it. But and the other thing about this is that this movie has some stereotypes and some exaggerated characters. We'll talk about some of those stereotypes in a little bit, in a certain area, but even the exaggerated characters and the stereotypes even felt more natural here, because I guess maybe the improvisation here was better. What's his name? Bronson Pinchot, whatever. Uh-huh. He's Serge. Serge is a flaming gay stereotype in here and probably would not fly today. But I will tell you that he still, because their conversation felt very real and conversational, he still felt more like a real character than the character they had him being later. They brought him back later. Even they brought him in the fourth one. And he just feels way more like an empty stereotype than he does right here.
I see you look at this base. $130,000. Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot. It's serious.
I love their interaction, man. It feels really conversational. Now they play this character up like he's got his own featurette. Hey, I'm Sedge. They really play it up now where he does not feel like a genuine character.
Right. Well, plus we hadn't seen Bronson Pinchot before. And from the, according to everything, it was supposed to be him and another guy, but in his audition with all this, he was just so good. They were like, told the other dude, we don't need you. they just let him do all of it.
Yeah, it doesn't even come off much like a stereotype because of the way it's written. Like some of the things he said just comes off like a weird artsy hipster guy.
Eastern European.
There you
trash kind of dude.
Yeah,
there you go.
Lemon in a cappuccino is so crazy.
That sounds nasty, right?
It sounds insane.
No, that's actually... It's done that way a lot.
I was about to tell him, but you haven't had it yet.
I have not.
No, Twist of Lemon. A lot of them are served that way.
You'll have to try it.
I think this one has the best villain yet. I think Brigitte Bardot in the second movie was she visually she made a great looking.
Brigitte Bardot, the old actress from the '60s.
No, not Brigitte Bardot, but what's her name?
Brigitte Nielsen.
Brigitte Nielsen. I think Brigitte Nielsen from in Beverly Hills Cop 2. I think visually she made it a very imposing villain. She had a great look.
All of you eat the floor now.
She was tall.
Yeah.
She had a very 80s look.
Oh, very much so.
She's like a white
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren, yeah, or female Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
White Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Looks like David Bowie and what's his name had a baby.
Mm.
No, she was. I'm not saying that she was a bad character. She was not.
A little cartoonish though.
Yeah,
those glasses.
Yeah, I mean, she was straight up like a. That's why I say it was more visual. She was tall, and she had that new wave thing going on.
No. Somebody can show you a clip from that clip right there. And you go like, 1987.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that the first movie had the best villain. He's a little drunk right here, but that was Stephen Berkoff as Victor Maitland. And what was cool about it it was almost, first of all, like looking at Eddie Murphy interact with a Bond villain.
Right.
Because that's what this guy was. But man, this guy was such a great actor. Because the thing that made him a Bond villain, that he had the accent and the cadence of a Bond villain.
I'm sorry. I didn't catch your name.
My name is Foley. All I want to know is what kind
Gentlemen, would you please show Mr. Foley to the door?
Take it easy.
First of all, I love the way they just pick his ass up. But second of all, man, the dude, look at this.
Well, you see him reach over and push that button.
He's got that. I thought it was going to be a trap door at first. But my man is so villainous that he just got henchmen waiting in closets to come out.
A lot of them.
Several of them. He just got a closet full of henchmen just waiting. I think he was thinking the same thing I was. I'm like, what are these corny white dudes gonna do? We're gonna do this shit right here. Look at that. I love the way my dude comes up with the hands in his pockets. He just strolls up. All right, get your black ass. That villain actually scared me when I was a kid too. Cause then because it was, first of all, he just has that
those light blue eyes.
That light blue eyes.
Like ice.
That cold, dead stare. Like, especially when they get big, and he's got, plus he's wearing a villain's robe. He looks like Dr. Evil or some shit when they came in. And there was one line in here, man. When I was a kid, it made me actually jump.
I just can't tell you how.
Pedro, listen.
Shut up!
Well, I love that. I don't want to hear it. But when he said shut up, I jumped as a kid.
Well, even his henchman behind him looked at the other dude like, oh shit. I ain't never heard him raise his voice before.
Man, this bitch really pissed him off. Man, I'll tell you what else made him, here's the most villainous thing about him, that damn bump in the middle of his head right there.
Yeah, I couldn't stop looking at it when I saw it. I was like, what is that?
I thought a horn was gonna grow out of that or something, man. But then the guy's like, he's a Bond stereotype villain. Whenever we do a Bond villain, we always talk like this. And that's exactly what he does, but he's so great. And like I said, man, you just cannot repeat some of these characters. They try to do it in other movies and you can't do it. I think this movie has the best angry black police chief ever.
Of all time.
Of all time.
And this guy wasn't even an actor.
Gilbert R. Hill. This guy was running for mayor in Detroit at one time in 2001. He was a city councilman.
Yeah, this is like one of those R. Lee Ermey situations.
Yeah.
Where you got somebody who really was a police chief or a drill sergeant to come in and they nail it.
Yeah, this dude, because he was just, man, he wasn't really playing it up for laughs. He just was funny just naturally. And listen, everybody who was black, you got cussed out from your black daddy who talked like this, or you had an uncle that was on your ass, you had an older cousin that talked like him and got on your ass. The guy, again, felt very natural. And again, that is a huge stereotype. You just don't see that stereotype with him.
The mayor called the chief called the deputy chief just chewed my ass out.
I'm trying to tell you.
Jeffrey, this is none of your business.
This is not my lot.
What's his name? Is
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser. He's funny in this, but the little parts he has, he's hilarious. That's what reminded me of that teacher I told you that dated my mom. He cussed my ass out like that, man.
That
He
right?
went in the hallway and cussed me out just like this.
The mayor called the chief called the deputy chief just chewed my ass out. You see, I don't have any bit of it left, don't you?
He was like, yeah, he cussed me out like, who the f you think you are in there? Acting a goddamn fool, He reminded me just of that. And boy, I love how, again, man, this guy, the improvisation here, I think the director just sat back and just said, y'all just do whatever, because these people were so amazing. Everybody just has this really great back and forth, man, where I can't tell what was written and what wasn't, because I love the way Eddie Murphy was with him. Because when he said, hey, you say I ain't got no ass left, and Eddie Murphy he just couldn't let it go.
Boss, the chief ain't chew it all out. You still got a little ass there.
Don't me, Axel. Not now.
Those eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You thought you were going to make him smile.
Yeah. And listen, the angry police chief was a thing before this guy. Then the black chief became a big thing. But man, he's really, you don't think of that stereotype when you see him. You just think, this dude's getting cussed out by another angry black dude.
I left this going, I bet this is how he really talked to the officers under him.
Oh, he did. Yeah, this ain't acting. Hey, everyone, excuse me for coming in and interrupting the show, but we do have to give a word out to our sponsor right now, which is Shopify. And the reason why I want to bring Shopify up to you, and I think it's a great sponsor, is because we have so many talented people in our toasty community, such as Marley right here. Marley made this figurine of, that's right, me. And look at that. You can bend me, pose me. Oh, go, Corey, go, Corey, go. Oh, I love this so much. You know what? If I didn't have one of these already, I would buy me. Not because I have such a big ego, which I do, but because this is a quality product right here. I would say that Marley could spend her skills making stuff like this and selling it online and being her own entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur. And the best place to start to do that is with, of course, Shopify. Why? Because Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind millions of entrepreneurs of every size across, get this, 175 countries. That's right, I said 175 countries. You didn't even know there were that many countries in the world, did you? And Shopify is in every one of them. Takes money to make money. And so Shopify wants to help you save some money. And they're going to do just that with our code right here. Shopify.com/toasted, all lowercase. You put that in and you'll get a $1 per month trial period. What are you waiting for? Hey, you're talented, you're smart, you can be an entrepreneur, and the best place to start is with what did I tell you before? Shopify. So get on it. We gave you the code. And I want to thank Shopify for sponsoring this portion of the show. And I want to thank all of you out there for your support. Thank you very much. And now back to the show. You know, I also think nothing beats all the first in the first movie. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's just some things that you see for the first time, especially with Eddie Murphy, again, being at his peak. You know, seeing him doing what he does for the first time in here, I mean, nothing has topped it. You know, now you're just trying to, you know, pretty much mimic what you did in the first one. That's what they did. Like when Eddie Murphy was conning people, you know, with movies that, you know, the sequels that came out, it really did feel like, okay, that's what people responded to.
Yeah.
Do more of that. But seeing him do it for the first time here, I remember people quoting this line when he went to the hotel and talked about it, you know, because they don't allow no alcohol up in here. Everybody loved that line, man.
He can sit on top of the world just as long as he doesn't sit in the Beverly Palm Hotel because there's no allowed in there.
Excuse me, sir. It seems that we do have a last minute cancellation.
Seeing that for the first time, man, so many. I remember my mom laughing about this.
Yeah.
I remember people at school, when they saw this movie, you know, they were quoting this, man. It was, it's another thing. It's a highly quotable movie. I think, you know, probably the most quotable movie out of all of them.
Sure. I just laughed. I laughed a lot with this scene. Because he played himself. Because when they told him how much it was going to cost him to stay there,
he had to reconsider for a second. It's like,
he should. They told him how much it was, and they were expecting to flip out again. But yeah, there's that, and
the $230 or $63. It's like that's like $600 adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, but it was the cheapest room there.
Oh, I know.
And like you said, he played himself. Made all that noise. Nah, shit, I gotta stay here. Man, and everybody remembers, you know, Eddie. Like I said, Eddie Murphy's comedy and improvisation just felt like it was, you know, it was something that, you know, was coming from the heart here, man. Like he was really hungry to do this. Everybody remembers the banana in the tailpipe.
Oh yeah.
We're not gonna fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
You know, today, if anybody made that impression of Eddie Murphy, even if Eddie Murphy did that, you know, when he started talking like this, you know, that's something that kind of got old after a while.
Yeah.
But it was
fresh at the time.
Yeah, it was fresh here, man.
It was very funny at the time.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And man, it's just stuff in here that is like pure Eddie Murphy. Like this is, again, where Eddie Murphy was, you know, he got nasty in the right way. You know, he was crude, he was lewd, but he was good at that. He was good at making things like dick jokes and bringing it in and playing that off of other characters.
Billy, you know, you don't have to be embarrassed if your dick gets hard. Boss dick got to stay limp, right? Yeah, I ain't on duty, so my dick can be hard.
You know what? Now I can tell you that's probably improvised, man. I was laughing so hard.
Well, Judge Reinhold's reaction.
Sure was.
Billy, he was having a good time.
You don't have to be embarrassed if your dick gets hard.
Yeah, you were right about it. I didn't even think about that when I saw it. I was just laughing. You know what? That's how this flowed so well. Because I mean, he, you know, without that reaction, it would be funny, but it just made funnier. watching these guys bond for the first time. Now, you know, when they come back, it's just we got to force these characters to be together again. Eddie Murphy got to go back to Beverly Hills again and hang out with the same people. But you know, when he first meets Taggart and Billy, you know, that's another reason why you're just not going to replicate that, because it's impossible to have another first.
I think what, at least to me, something that really works with this is that Taggart is not an easy lay. That is, as much as Axel is being charming and Billy's kind of falling for it right away, Taggart is almost to the last scene going like, no.
Well, not even the last scene. From the moment they first meet, he beats Eddie Murphy's ass.
Right,
At least
right.
he punches him in the stomach.
Punches him, but all the time during, and Billy's like, oh, this is kind of funny. He's like, no, God damn it, no.
But I think that you made a great point, because a reason why we love seeing them bond as friends is because they got up on a very rocky start from the moment that Axel meets Taggart. Taggart's like, I'm not taking your shit. I mean, he got so tired of him, he got up in the Beverly Hills police office and punched him in the stomach.
You watch your mouth.
Hey man, don't square off on me with some bullshit.
And by the way, Eddie Murphy started it.
Yeah.
He actually, as much as I love Axel Foley in this movie, he deserved that.
You want to start some static?
Hey, don't push me.
Fuck you, man.
Okay. Sorry, I was out of line.
I really like that moment, though, the way that it plays out, because it's an interesting relationship for them to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you still don't see really happening these days.
No, it set up two things, because later Taggart had to come in and apologize reluctantly, and not only was it an apology, but you know, the what's his name, the chief had to come out and say, hey, do you want to press charges on this guy? So it sets up how strict they are, as opposed to Axel Foley's loose cannon ways. But
with Detroit, everything goes. I mean, anything goes.
Anything goes, exactly. But also, I mean, that moment where it was immediately physical, you know, that fighting, and when, you know, Axel gets punched in the stomach. So, you know, you probably did. I remember when I first saw this, and I think a lot of people did. I mean, Judge Reinhold, maybe, but you thought maybe they were just going to be two cops that he ran into and you wouldn't see them anymore. You know, I remember seeing this and thinking like, wow, okay, this is kind of surprising. They're actually going to be friends.
What do you say? We all go get something to drink and make up and be friends, huh?
And where did they end
It's
up?
supposed to get hard. It's the whole object of this. Taggart's dick is hard, but he
End up going there and talking, he wasn't bragging about his hard dick. You know, I love that scene though, because it also shows like even when Eddie Murphy or Axel Foley's wrong, you know, I think he kind of realizes it. And it just shows how charming he is, man. Like he really does respect people, no matter how much he might be pulling a Bugs Bunny on them, you know. And I like that. I like that, you know, he has this side of him where, you know, he really does want to do the right thing. He really does like people. He'd rather be friends with people instead of going around, you know, starting shit with people, even though he started shit with people.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
Like
go ahead.
Oh, it says like you.
Yeah, much like you. He doesn't have a rule book, but every once in a while he'll cross the line just a little bit.
After seeing this, you're just watching the other movies, just kind of repeat a lot of these strong points that I'm bringing up right here, at least strong points for me. You know, like, you know, there's that scene, of course, where and this is the scene we're talking about. Listen, this is one of the funniest scenes I've seen in the movie. I laughed so hard when I saw this the first time, and I still laugh at it today like I'm seeing it for the first time. That's a great moment right there, because this dude does nothing but talk shit with confidence in this movie, and that's the moment he has a loss for words. He's just like, because and the audience is thinking the same thing. God damn, he got thrown through a window.
I was thinking, what did you think was going to happen? You're going to walk into the villain's lair and confront him on his own turf like that. Like, how was that supposed to go down? I mean, definitely, granted, not being tossed through the window, but certainly being escorted out or some sort of violence.
I thought they were going to open the door and then throw him out. I didn't know that they were going to go up to the window and...
Yeah, because if you think about it, that's their window.
That's their window, yeah.
Yeah, they clearly wanted to make a point.
And he's dumbfounded. And I love that. He's like, his voice even goes like, hey. Hey. He's confused. And after that scene, he's arrested by the LAPD.
That's what was cold.
Yeah.
He's thrown through the window and they arrest him.
Yeah, he's even confused about that. He's like, what the f-? You know, I was the one that was thrown through the window. Of course, you know, that scene does a lot of things. It shows, first of all, just how powerful this guy Victor Maitland is. He's got the cops and he can either pay the cops or push the cops around to verify a story that he wants.
He's like Mr. Nimbus. He controls the cops.
Yeah. He's like a punk ass art kingpin or something, man. But so they show up and they arrest him. I didn't have that clip, but I think I'll show it right here anyway. Yeah, here it is.
Put your hands on the hood.
Why? What's with you guys?
You heard what he said, sir. Do it right now, please.
I got thrown out of a window, man.
I love the way he keeps repeating it, and no one gives a shit. You better shut up or you go through another window.
Gun, partner.
Disturbing the peace. I got thrown out of a window. What's the fucking charge for getting pushed out of a moving car, huh? Jaywalking?
Remember that line got a big laugh when I saw the movie in the theater. I remember a lot about this movie for the first time I saw it. I remember the theater that I saw it in 3 times. It's not even there anymore.
That scene has the same energy as that one guy getting arrested. What is the charge? Eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal.
And you, sir, you wait to receive my lip penis, sir. Young man, me.
That's all I can think about watching that scene. What is the charge? Oh, no.
Now you see the things repeated in these movies. He goes back to L.A. and he does something to get arrested, and they did it in 4.
Now you show up. Where was you when I was getting shot at?
I said hands!
Been a cop for 30 years. I've been black a whole lot longer. Trust me, I know better.
That's a funny line.
That's a funny line.
No, that's a very funny line. I like I said, it's not like I hate this movie or anything. I'm not trying to make the other movies look bad except for 3, which that does that on its own. I'm just saying that, this is why you can't compare to the first. I mean, and that is a complaint that these movies just kind of are repeating the same thing. If anything you can say about the third one is that at least they tried to do something a little different by being PG-13, even though why would you do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, looking at this, they're doing a lot of things that they keep doing in the same movies, man. Not only does he get arrested, but right before that, he goes back and they always have to do the going back to LA or going to Beverly Hills. Going to Beverly Hills either for the first time or again where you get the Beverly Hills montage. But hey, look, they did it in 2. They did it in the 3rd one, I'm sure, but I didn't feel like watching that. But they definitely did it again in the 4th one.
Well, what's a movie without its establishing shots?
But we've established that shot over and over and over again.
Cause girls is players too. What you know about living on the top?
I mean, it shows how time has passed for one, but at the same time, it's like they're recycling. So that's why I say it's hard to really recapture that first one if you choose, especially if you choose to just kind of recycle stuff over and over again.
I've only seen the first one, but do they all have this like detective thing kind of going on with them?
Yeah, that's what he is. He's a detective.
All right, yeah, because like the first one, like there's no real mystery to it. It's just like watching him be a detective, and I thought that was pretty unique. Like there's nothing really for the audience to discover. Like you see who the villain is and everything, but it's cool to watch him like pick a lock or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Again, that was what was cool about seeing him for the first time. He was he more than just being a renegade cop. They did show how great a detective he was, how thorough he was. Even with breaking the rules, he was that sure about himself because his instincts were always right. He was observant. They repeat the same car crashes, man. Let's just hit a bunch of shit. Even though even in the first one, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
they went through neighborhoods and blew up cars.
That first chase with the cigarette truck, I was like, why is this going on and on?
That's
like
insane.
It is? And this guy driving the truck, what does he think is going to happen?
Lucky no one was parking or in their car.
Right,
It's one of those things where no one gets hurt because all these cars are miraculously empty. And there's even a part where I think that the driver of that truck, I think he tried to hit somebody on purpose. He swerved into that luggage, man.
Yeah, well, that's what he was doing after a while, swerving to hit the car.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet you James Cameron is a big fan of that scene. It looks a lot like the Terminator 2 chase scene.
Well, you know who's a big fan of that scene also? You? Beverly Hills Cop. Because they do it in all the movies.
Stop hitting cars!
A lot of blind spots in the snowplow.
And we're recycling the music too. You know, it's hard to really look at these other movies and say, man, you're as good as the first if you're repeating the same shit that they did better in the first one. You know, it's and listen, if you look at it, it's not, again, it's a movie that I think is amazing, but it is in some parts a product of its time.
Oh, definitely.
Very much. You know, the thing that you probably cannot do today, and they don't. I don't want to say the movie's homophobic, but you know, it's that period where a lot of lazy humor was being gained from doing just real lazy gay stereotypes, and that's what they did here. The interesting thing about one is that Damon Wayans?
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
his first movie.
Yeah.
Well, all I need is a couple of bananas.
Go ahead, take those bananas.
Hey.
Now, again, he's a straight man doing gay stereotypes, or at least straight as we know. I mean, you know, they picking up transvestite prostitutes and shit.
All right.
You know? I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Now, what I'm saying is, he's a, you know, unless there's something we don't know about these guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's straight man doing gay stereotypes.
Right.
You know, and that
between him and Bronson Pinchot and then Eddie Murphy when he's trying to con his way into places.
Exactly.
Okay, I guess I can do that. Tell Victor that Ramon.
Perhaps you better tell him that.
You know, I think that would be best.
Although, you know, at the time, we all laughed. I mean, it's a little, today, it's, you know, it's a little out of place. You can't do that a little more. But I remember my mom would always quote that. When she was telling people about the movie, she was like, loving it. I think that would be best. So I was like, you know, it was a lot of this stuff was quoted when probably, you know, today we couldn't do that. But I remember like all of this being funny. Everybody loved the gay impression.
Yeah, but like now, if you came in doing that, the Mater D would just say, "Yeah, okay, just
exactly.
Yeah, no big deal.
Exactly.
I'll pass the message on."
You'd be like, "Hell, I got it too." No wonder this villain lost. He's hired some of the worst shots. These guys can't hit shit with machine guns.
Right.
Machine guns. This man is the easiest target you can find. He ain't a small man. He's on the ground.
Not moving.
He's not moving, and still.
You all right?
Boy,
I know.
How easy would it be just to aim up just a little bit? Even stormtroopers shaking their heads like, God damn, thought we were bad.
Just running at each other with the guns pointing at each other.
You guys should work for Cobra.
Yeah. Somebody said Beverly Hills Stormtroopers. Yeah, man. But that's pretty much my points that I want to make about this movie and why I enjoy it so much. And that is why I made the statement when I first saw this movie, and then I watched this new one. Why I thought, yeah, it's just none of these movies have been able to capture what that first movie did for me. And it was kind of cool to go back and watch this first one to just kind of put it even more in perspective why that was the case. So, you know, but again, like I said, some other people, it's interesting to hear that it hadn't aged that well for you, or it's not as funny as the first time.
Yeah. I was surprised and kind of disappointed by that. I still liked it. It was still enjoyable. And, you know, it's got a great cast. Eddie Murphy's charming, and they all really work well together. I thought that's one of the things I thought this had over the newer one, the newest one that is. But I wasn't like, you know, getting the good belly laughs like I did multiple times seeing it when it came out.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, still very enjoyable.
Yeah, for me, the first half had me laughing really hard, and it kind of like just trailed off. Like the second half like wasn't as strong as the first half for me.
You know, I think, and I would agree with you on that, because even watching it today, I mean, you're getting shit like this, where you're just getting guys just shooting at each other badly. So yeah, you know, it definitely trails off because it's the comedy and the interaction between these characters is what really is selling this movie. So at the end, when they get just nothing but straight action almost.
This tends to happen with action comedies, is that the first 2/3 is all about the comedy back and forth. By the last third, the third act, they're like, well, we kind of been setting up a plot, so we got to dedicate everything to wrapping this up within the plot.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. But there you go. People.
What would you guys give it? I'd give it probably like a medium rare matinee.
Oh,
probably about the same.
Yeah, I think you can tell with me, it's still probably full price for me. I still had so much fun watching this again. But there you go, y'all. Thank you very much for watching. Hope hope to get your opinion on it, actually. You know, whenever we ever get this up in somewhere with this comment section, please let us know. Hey, we got a comment section right here. Have y'all seen this movie recently? You know, the funny thing is being like Julian, when you see it for the first time years later after the movie has come out. What do y'all think about this? What do you think about this movie right here? Do you still like it? Not as much anymore? Liked it more? We got some matinees and full prices over here. There you go. Somebody said, I saw this in '84. It's a classic. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.